Let's just stick with the guidance numbers, fiscal 14, and let's just sort of talk about the number, because that is important right now as we are 2 minutes away from the pre-open session. So no fiscal 14 EPS guidance. I've got the release here with me. I mean, they don't explicitly say that there is no rupee EPS number, but I mean, there is no guidance for the full year. Fiscal 14 US dollar, I mean, there is no rupee EPS number here. You know, it's tough to imagine what would have been better, or rather what would have been worse. No guidance at all, or I mean 6 to 10% guidance. I mean, you know, it's up in the air. It's a toss-up really. The point is, a lot of US investors are used to guidance. I mean, you know, so I think the local investors here could have lived with no guidance, etc. TCS doesn't provide a guidance, but a lot of US investors would have really taken it extremely negatively if Infosys stopped providing guidance at all. So, I mean, actually that would have gone in, or rather that would have been one of the considerations why, I mean, they're still putting out a dollar revenue growth guidance, I mean, which is 6 to 10%, which is extremely poor. But beyond that, I mean, I think, you know, there's no real silver lining in that sense. There is a guidance. The problem is the guidance is far and way below what the street expectation is. 9 to 13% was the expected number. They're saying we'll grow between 6 and 10% or so. So that's what we've got. They've added 56 clients during the quarter. Gross additions of 8,990 employees. Net addition of about 10,059 odd employees. And they're saying in the release, I can read, the Infosys has decided to set aside up to $100 million to invest in products, platforms, and solutions, ideas in line with Infosys 3.0 strategy. So that's what we've got from the company so far. It's a bad set of numbers. And I think you will see one more sort of big day on the stock. It could be, I mean, it will be at least 5%. And one should be surprised if it does, I mean, if it sort of overshoots to close to 10% or so. We've got market opening coming up on your screen right now. And I just want to go straight to Infosys and what the stock will do. Stock is down 10%. Straight up is down 10%. 2625 on the stock as things stand right now. So that's what you've got on the Infosys stock. And I think the market, of course, is showing up that Infosys is a benchmark, is a heavyweight. So 185 off on the Sensex. Nifty is showing about a 16 odd point pop. But we'll know for sure what's coming through. As always, I mean, there is a bit of rub off, positive or negative, this time negative on other IT stocks as well. So I'm assuming that the rest of the IT pack should see some bit of sort of, you know, sell-off and sympathy, maybe too early, but Infy is still down firmly 10%, 291 on the stock. Kotak Bank is down 1.5%. HUL is down 0.5%. ICICI Bank is down 0.5%. Power Grid is down 0.5%. You got TCS, which is down 0.4%. Tata Motors, which is down about a third. Reliance Infrastructure, Tata Power, and Bank of Baroda are all down as we speak in the pre-open session. 908 we get firm prices. 915 we get the market opening, and I think we'll have a real measure of what the stock can do then. GAIL is up. GAIL is showing a 5% pop, followed by Sun Pharma, which is showing a 4% pop. It should fade a little bit. No real reason for these two stocks to be up 4-5%. Asian Paints is up 2.5%. ITC is up about 2 3/4. Mahindra & Mahindra is up about 2 3/4. HDFC Limited is up about 2% as well. But Infy is the real disappointment coming through. We'll continue to get lots and lots of views coming through. And we'll have commentary from the management coming up quickly as well. NASSCOM estimate for dollar revenue for fiscal 14 is 12 to 14%. And people were expecting that they'll at least guide at towards the lower end of that range. I mean, but no luck at all. 6 to 10% is what Infosys is saying they'll see fiscal 14 growth coming in at. Sanjeev, I just want to come back to you. What kind of I mean, actually come in on what else are you making of these results? Any other insights that you want to provide? And I mean, you know, there is no rupee EPS number. How would you read that? And looking at fourth quarter results, I mean, what are the indications, if any, for margins? 23.5% EBIT margins for fourth quarter. What are indications for margin for the full year, fiscal 14? Come in and all of that.
Definitely, if you look at the margin performance this quarter, we are expected somewhere close to 90 bips fall. So it's a 23.8% is more than that. So rather than seeing this quarter performance, what it will result in is the confidence crisis. So whatever thesis going on in the market that the multiple will converge, Infosys multiple will converge with TCS going forward in FY14, that theory will go for a toss and there will be further confidence crisis for the investor. So rather than seeing a single day, whatever the stock performance today, what these numbers and guidance will result in is a further confidence crisis.
Deven Choksi, I believe, is joining in as well. Deven, good morning. Welcome to the show. What do you make of these results?
Good morning, Prashant. Well, I think the result on a quarter-over-quarter basis is quite flat actually, and against the expectation of around 3 to 4% growth coming in, the growth has been actually, I think, a flat. So from that perspective, I think it's a sure disappointment. The other disappointment is on the EBITDA and EBITDA margins. We were suspecting the kind of a wage hike related issue affecting the margins, and we were also suspecting the kind of a utilization, I think, affecting the margin. But to me, I think it appears little more than that, though the details are not available, but it appears to be little more than that. Maybe cross currency fluctuation could have taken its toll.